No doubt you will all have seen Ronaldinho's thunderbolt goal against Sevilla in September 2003. But today we're going to take a closer look at the goal and remember its significance. We need to go back to the summer of 2003 to remember the big changes that were in place at the club. There was a new president, Joan Laporta, looking to modernise the club, and a whole new backroom team, with Cheeky Bergerstein now in charge of signings, and a new head coach in Frank Rijkaard. In his election campaign, Laporta had promised to sign David Beckham after arriving to an agreement with his club Manchester United. But the player chose to join Real Madrid's Galacticos, so Laporta instead moved for Ronaldinho and signed him from Paris Saint-Germain for around €27 million. Barca were of course in a transition at this time, with a big overhaul in the last summer. Various players left, including Frank de Boer, Alfonso, Riquelme, Rochenbach and the goalkeeper Bonanno. And apart from Ronaldinho coming in, there was also Rafa Marquez signed for Monaco for €5 million, and Ricardo Quaresma with a big signing for €16 million from Sporting Lisbon, and Giovanni Van Bronckhorst was also brought in from Arsenal. Now, a look at Barca's team that day shows 5 players who would go on to win the Champions League in 2006 in Paris. Puyol and Xavi and young Victor Valdés in goal. And of course the new signings Rafa Marquez and Ronaldinho were there. But a look around, we see players who wouldn't last very long, like Oscar Lopez and Sergi Garcia, 2 youngsters. And some players who would be on their way out. There was Patrick Anderson, and Quaresma wouldn't last long, and Luis Enrique was nearing the end of his time at the club. Frank Rijkaard began using a 4-2-3-1 formation. But here we see it with a back four, Puyol, Marquez, Anderson and Oscar Lopez. Midfield pivots Gerrard and Xavi, and Quaresma, Luis Enrique and Ronaldo in a line of 3, and Sergio Garcia up front. Now, one of the strange things about this game is that it was played at 5 past midnight. Now, this was because Barca had applied to move the game from Wednesday to Tuesday to allow their internationals more time, and Sevilla had refused. So Barca, following the rules, played the game on the Wednesday, but kicked off at 5 past midnight, so really it was a Tuesday night. And to make the night more special, Barca provided free gazpacho to their fans, so the game became known as El Partido del Gazpacho. So, on to the goal. It was the 59th minute of the game. Sevilla were winning 1-0. Barca weren't looking great, and Sevilla were attacking down their left side. The shot came in that Victor Valdés blocked and saved. He was very quick to jump up, spot Ronaldinho and throw the ball out to Ronaldinho near the left touchline. Ronaldinho had space. He allowed the ball to run past him and he moved on towards the halfway line. And here you can see that in front of him he's got Luis Enrique moving into a centre forward position, and to the left of him you can't see is Sergio Garcia, who's on the left touchline. And that's all he's got in front of him, 2 players. But he doesn't need them. He runs forward. The first Sevilla central midfielder, Martí, comes across to try and block his way, but Ronaldo dips inside him and continues his run. This allows the other central midfielder, Casquero, to get across. But Ronaldo also manages to clip the ball past him, and before the defence can react to come out and block the space, he hits a beautiful shot from 30 metres that takes late swerve, late dip, just gives the goalkeeper absolutely no chance. The ball was hit with such power that it hit the crossbar, bounced down on the line and up into the roof of the net before the goalkeeper Notario had even hit the floor from his dive. Camp Nou erupted. It was 1:30 in the morning, and it was reported that the goal caused a seismic movement that was recorded by a local observatory. Now, in itself, the goal was only worth a draw, only a point. The game ended 1-1, and it took some months before Rijkaard's team really started to show some form. The season ended without a trophy, which, like the previous 4 seasons, which had all been trophyless, was very disappointing, but the goal offered a glimmer of hope after the dismal Gaspart years. Things were changing at Barca, things were modernising, and Ronaldinho was the man who led the team to greater glories. We would go on to win the league title in 2005 and 2006, and of course the Champions League trophy, won in Paris against Arsenal. This was the beginning. This was the beginning of the change, the move back to greater things after a really dismal time under the Gaspart presidency. So that's it for today. If you liked the video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, that would be great, and I'll be back next week with some more. Okay, bye for now. Bisquel Barça.